Welcome back to Railroads Online. We are still at the same intersection that we left last time. So if you look, I was thinking a little bit more about our plan here, and I think I like this one that we come looping around here with our new line. I cleared out this to make a yard of sorts, so we'll try to keep that in mind as we do this. But I then, rather than move all of this stuff just yet, I'd rather build and make sure we're going to use it to some degree. Think through the exact lines we need. So this is our new line for those of you who missed it at the end of last episode. This goes all the way down to the ironworks, but also the refinery and the oil field. But we crossed this at a different height than we were at before. Not a whole lot different, but different nonetheless. Which is the height that most of this whole thing is at. So the problem that we have right now, one of the problems, was going to be getting this to fit back in after I deleted a bunch of stuff. I sort of just drew this track to kind of make it like a reasonable track if we came back out. So I think really the only thing we have to do now is get these to match up, but at this height. Right, as long as we can do that now, we'll get it to work up here. Because we also need to figure out how to get that to cross at exactly 90 degrees. Right, so I'm thinking that it might not hurt if we were a tiny bit further that way. Let's go down and get some gravel. Because I do want to get this done before I start worrying about redoing stuff we already did. Like I would like to get down there, and we got lots of beautiful stone that we laid. All right, so we'll leave that like that for the moment. Do we need another one of those? Let's go for it. All right, and then we'll have to put one of these down. Right, this I guess. No, I think I like the idea of this being straighter like this. Now we got to give that some room because it's, yeah, that's all right. We could change this one a little bit. I'll change both of them a bit, but let's get rid of, yeah, back to, we had made all that level. Yeah, back to there, right? So if we come off of this level, slope down to that. Which one did I pick? Let's just see where it hits the ground, right? Yeah, that's what I was sort of worried about because it's only halfway in that. Okay, so that's what, -1. We did -2. Oop, that's even. Yeah, -2 we're kind of at. Where did that disappear? It really doesn't, does it? Well, I guess it's that then. If that's my choices, I'll just bring it down relatively quickly. Let's get rid of, I don't want to start right there in that turn. I think that's a pretty straight piece. I kind of tend to keep it. I think that's going to be a straight piece, but I want to go and I just tried to level that out there with the gravel. I don't know how much it matters. It matters right there. When that won't connect, that's when it matters. What? Right, and then this guy should be no problem. Yeah, see, that's what I wanted to try. This is where we started out, quote, having the issue. Is because coming off of here is a little bit tight. But that's all right. We kind of gave ourselves some more room. Like if we have to swing a little funny, because we will come back to this. And I don't know. This is one of the things. I don't know how often anybody's ever going to even come down this way. I guess if you're coming out of the mill, that would be the way to come this way. So I guess we'll still want the loop. I'm not saying we'll get rid of it, but it's not... Like, sort of wait till it becomes an actual problem. All right, now hopefully... Hopefully this just isn't way too sharp. I can definitely extend it, the turning, a little further that way. Let's see how that looks. So it's almost straight right there. It's going to be a pretty sharp turn. It's a little not perfect, but we'll see. Even those little straight sections, that's not really going to hurt us because it gives the car a little more time to, you know, like even if that's sharp and then this is not, even if it's not perfectly straight around there, it still might be okay as long as we're not going too fast. All right, well, anyway, this made that into there. So now the question is, how can we cross this thing with two lines that don't go exactly at 90 and exactly at 9? All right, because that's not even close. I guess we could bring this one straighter. Would be probably a good way to start. All right, if this guy cross like that, am I stuck in there? Now I got to redo the whole thing. Yep. Even if I came around this turn, right, a little further. Yeah, we'll just swing it like way wider in a sense. Actually, oh yeah. Really what I want is it to cross this way, right? Like if we could just turn it. Let me come off of here. Let's just say we start it right here. Went at 90 degrees to this. Where would that put us? I don't want to swing it too far and be at 90. Now remember, we can cheat this one a little bit that way. Yeah, see, I don't want that to be too sharp. Yeah. All right, that is definitely sharper, and then we would turn it after we get out of here, and then yeah, I think we would move this whole thing to be more, not demolish. Go take this up to there, see what it'll. All right, so this one will come here, and then it will actually turn maybe a little bit at the end there to go across that just at the right thing. So let's see if we can't start eyeballing this thing up, right? So it will. Yeah, see, it's still not enough. And that's not really that great either. Let's what? All right, what if we just did this? Said that guy's going to have to cross wherever he crosses. I would move it down this way more. Maybe this guy could cheat it a little bit this way, right? Won't hurt. Yeah, so that guy will swing around. All right, exactly. Like he'll cut in this way and then he'll swing across. I hope. It doesn't matter which one. Can't really even see that thing. Yeah, see, I can't tell which way it was. Within the bounds of I don't like it 100%, I think we could possibly make this work. I might move the gravel. I probably don't want to lay all this until I work out more details, huh? It's a fairly good turn. A little bit off right there. It's a gradual turn, so it's not as bad. It would definitely be good if you could adjust this thing or have one that's at different angles or something. That's because that's kind of a heck of a thing to have to do here. Do we take the difference a little bit more? How far off is this one? See, that one's barely off. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we take the difference. Well, I think I could keep putting these down, right? Just so we got it. Because this is about the right spot. But I would bring it maybe just a little bit more like this. Maybe even like that. That nobody's happy, right? This one's crossing pretty straight at that point. All right, well, let's see how that looks if we just Gonna need some more gravel. Yeah, I don't know, you know. I don't know. It's kind of goofy. I'm just not having it meet at the right angles, huh? Oop. Oh, look at that horribleness. All right. Get rid of that guy. I guess we need to... Might as well just cut this guy back. We can make him more swooping than the other one. That's a tall hill here. We want to be over this way. Yes, we want to slope that a little bit more down. About 1% is always a nice grade if you can make it work. Yep, there we go. I don't even know if that's the right. All right, well, more trees. I've cut a lot of trees down in the last few days, or the last few hours. Days too. Yeah, that's kind of a, you know, sharp turn, obviously, but I don't know. I think I'll leave them like that and just fill this in so it looks half decent. There you go. That kind of works. We'll go. Oops, that's right. It slips down. Let's go to like here and then. Did we get that spot? Of course not. That's all right. That'd be like a natural little, they forgot to fill it in. All right, so now we got to get back to that spot, which was nice and perfectly straight before we before we did all this craziness. But yeah, let's come out of here a little bit straight. And then... So what's the opinion? Is it too tight? Why are we so much higher? Huh. Why is that? Oh, just because that's what this was versus that was. I got you. All right, well, I do like that slope, even if we need to. Or I do like this path, even if we don't use that slope. Well, I think that this should be up at this height. And the reason is, if we're going to ever put a switch, let's get rid of some of the underneath. If we're ever going to put a switch over here, I would rather it end up being at this height. Like there's a good chance that we're going to have a switch to go that way, which is towards that freight depot. And I'm not sure which way we'll go. So let's see. Oops, wrong button. Escape doesn't work. So let's see which way we go from here, right? Like we'll leave this plenty so that we can get rid of another 2 sections even. Not that big a deal if we run this higher. All right, that should be plenty. Now I'm on variable grade, so let's see what. Yeah, we don't need it to be 3. What does 1 look like? I'll just take it down to 1. Yep. There we go. So that way we have a fair amount here that's level. Because I could definitely see us, rather than, I don't know, do we want to build another line up to the freight depot? Or, yeah, probably. Would we ever, yeah, because we definitely want to go from like the refinery, if nothing else, around to the freight depot. That'll be, if we sell nothing else, that's the one end product that you can't use or sell anyplace at this point. So, but I would see that we might make another line from by where the oil field is up to the freight depot, as opposed to driving all the way up here and then having to go back down. We'll see. This might be an easy, quick solution for that, but we're kind of a ways off from making oil. All right, so are we back in business in this intersection here, right? After all of our cutting trees down and our kind of horrible looking. Yeah, see, I think that should be more, but for now, I'm going to live with it. I think that should be more gradual here. But like I said, I'm thinking about redoing that whole thing. So this intersection will be a project in its own. We'll make it across here. It just won't be that spectacular. So let's see if we can't lay some tracks. We've got a ways to go. I think I got rid of all of our trees. I think we're in good shape. So I'm going to try to be quiet and focus and just try to see how straight I can make it. Oops. Started going off to one side there. Oh. Anything that's that annoying we can always fix the spots that you mess up pretty easily. It's actually sometimes a lot easier if you do have a target track in front of you, you know, where you know that's where I'm going, and if you can see it well, you can head right for it. A little easier than just off in the distance there. Trying to judge exactly where the middle of this thing is. Oop, just again. The biggest problem is that you're not always exactly in the middle of the track. So when you're pointing, sometimes you're not, you know, you're not really pointing straight ahead. You're pointing a little bit off. Now, once you get going for a while, like now, I'm sort of like in the middle of the track because I went straight long enough that any angle got kind of washed out in a sense. But now we're laying the track by the mile here. We need to renegotiate our contract to not be hourly and to be per the mile. Now this is another. There's going to be another crossing here eventually, but this is pretty far, isn't it? Nice and straight. In general, I am actually avoiding things. This really worked out pretty well. This was my first shot going through here with this road bed and the new method of oh, come on, they won't let me. See, that's their lag spike. I went too far. But yeah, this was my first shot going through it, and you know, we are actually changing directions because we had to miss the mountains, but look how straight that is compared to like the first things I was doing. And for those of you who didn't watch the last episode, it's, you know, don't change direction to miss the trees. Use the A and D, and like when you hit the tree and it bounces you this way a little bit, bounce back. You know, just try to hold your left and right, not your direction. Don't delete anything. Anyway, you'll have to go back and watch it if you didn't see that part of that video, or just try it for yourself. Or you don't have to watch it. All right, here we go again. Oops. I didn't realize this intersection was so as close to that, because I guess I was in the middle of cutting down trees last time I was here. I couldn't see. I couldn't necessarily see everything, but we have a crossing path and we still haven't crossed it yet. And up ahead is the ironworks. Now I can finally see the crossing path up there. I just didn't realize it was quite so close to the ironwork. Now this one I hope is crossing a little bit closer to 90. Probably not. Not at 90, but this one we could probably, right, if we just straighten that one out for a while, like that way, we might be able to cut right across. Yeah, I would say right, so let's get rid of this one because it's no longer going to be a thing, and then can we get this one to be at least straight this way, see what it looks like. It's pretty far off. Is there going to be a better way to do what? No. I think let's just take a little bit of the difference. All right, maybe we can swing this guy around like that just a bit. Yeah, that's... I think that's a little bit more reasonable anyway, right? All right, let's yeah, it's not unreasonable, I don't think. Let's see. Is there any reason that this one can't be just moved over? That's not what I want. All right, keep this the same. No, I guess it would be better right there because I can just kind of turn it right in. All right, because that was pretty straight. Go back one more. Yeah, I just have to go over a little bit to get to this, and then probably about the same. Not too great. Did the herky jerky for no particular reason. That's just hard to see. Just kind of hard to see which exact direction that thing was going. We'll worry about the rest of that intersection later on. Let's get down to the ironworks. That's the goal. Oop, paying attention to what I'm doing, not looking at the time of the video recording is also the goal. All right, I don't know how far in I want to go just yet. We're definitely going to need to split off, right? How are we going to do this? I don't know. I haven't thought about it. So this is going to be our outgoing. No, this is incoming. We can do one line, raw iron and coal, right? So one, how much of these? 1,000 coal, that's ambitious. Raw iron, 100. Yeah, if it's 1-to-1, you know, I don't think the coal cars only carry 10, so to try to fill that thing up, that one you can only put like 20 beams in the coal mine. Like, you know, and I'm right now, I know hopefully we'll expand, but I'm carrying up 18 beams at a time, you know, or 12, I'm sorry, 12 lumber beam sets at a time. I'm gonna get 1,000 coals. Wishful thinking. All right, so I guess I need to set the grade, right? Or no, let's set the track. And I'm gonna set a little grade here, I guess. A little bit of a grade along the. All right, so just. Let me see. How high up do we want that? Yeah, just a little bit near above the grass. Go back to even. It's probably not going to hurt anything. Right. So if we come out of here, we could just go back in over here. Go back to the way we came. All right, we'd have a switch here. Might as well start laying something out. This is probably not the right location, but all right, switch over there, go unload, and then let's run it all the way around and see. Cut some trees too while we're. I did cut a bunch of trees right in this area already, just because I knew they'd more or less be in the way. Now the other thing to look at here, is there any difference when we go over here? So this is the output. No, this would be the same, like a single track. So what I'm thinking of is we do this somewhat like the smelter, other than we don't need all that craziness of backing in. Right, where we end up with like a bypass line and the line itself. Yeah, you know what? That's just a little bit too high. Let's go. Even though the grass will stick out a bit. Delete the wrong. Yeah, delete that too, right? Yeah. It's just a little too high for around this yard. Let me just get rid of all the rest of it. Or do we want to... Yeah, see, we don't want to make it this height either. Once we get out of a certain spot, we'll lower this back down to where we want it. Let me go get that. Get our new height. 6-inch height versus the 9-inch. Make it separate pieces so we're not... Bring this out straight a good ways. and then come off of here. I'm going to run this right across here. I don't know that we want it this close, but if you don't do this, it sort of looks ugly, and then if you try to fix it, it doesn't look any better. All right, I'm going to try to just keep going straight. Again, the same idea with, and then this would curve back in. Let's get this guy. In or out, right? I guess we could look at it like this guy could come back out into this other one. All right, and then this will start nice and gently curving. How far off am I? Can't really see. That's actually that was actually better than I thought it was going to be. Oh, man. I don't know what it looks like behind me, but all right, and then this also could head right back out. Maybe just do it. You know, further up the line so that we can have two. Let's go back over here and finish this thought. So that's probably going to have to move too, because that's going to be too close. All right, so what I'm going to do is go over this way a little bit, and yeah, we'll just put another hole. So there we go. So we have enough gravel to do a bypass lane. We got a tree up in here too. Let's go take a look at that loop around and see if it's as good as I think it is. Good enough anyway. Yeah, and I don't know if I really, maybe I didn't leave that, I didn't do that other side well enough. No, it's not going to be particularly great. I'm always amazed how when I cut these trees, I end up missing so many. Alright, so if we're going to do that, then this needs another straight section. And then a switch here. Alright. It looks like it's pointing pretty close to straight down. Do one more, and then I'll put another switch. Yeah, see, I didn't really leave that. Yeah, I'd like to leave that a little extra long just in case we get longer and longer trains, so we'll redo at least that much of the turn. And this one wants to be a switch right, I guess like this. And this guy can go out for a little while and come back. What am I doing? We don't want that. We want track. Always got to be a tree in the way in this game. Stretch that a little far. That's not perfect, but always a tree I miss. Now this time though, on those other lines, I went up and down, so we should be pretty good on the main roads that we made. All right, so I think I can start. It's hard to get these started and look decent. All right, so we want to come out a little straight away from that thing. And then start making our nice, relatively gradual turn. I can't see where I'm at. It's fine. Let's see what I'm going to do the same thing on this side. A little bit. I can get a good idea how far straight. Yeah, that's probably plenty already. See, and this is where I think I messed up in the front, but that's okay. I don't think I went straight enough to allow for that thing we're doing, the bypass. This should be a good amount straighter, and then over. All right, so we'll get that. We'll get rid of this old one. These do get confusing if you don't get rid of them. Yep. All right, so how does that look compared to this other one Well, we didn't bring this other one in. But yeah, no, we could definitely bring this other one in, I think, a little bit quicker. Right, because we need two separate junctions. No, we don't. We just need one. This one's just got to get there. Right, because we only can go two directions, not unless we want another thing down here. Like we could eventually allow for proper firewood, cordwood dropping off type thing, but yeah, really this just needs to come together with that somehow, somewhere. And then go back up to that height with the rest of it, but that can happen after this area. Alright, so that guy can come. Yeah, we can make this. Or do we need to change that much? Yeah, let's. I place it from here where I could. Oh, you're not letting me delete that? Alright, go on, delete. There you go. Yeah, that's not what we want again. I don't want you to do that, but I just want you to be. Lots of work in this game, lots of work. But we're getting there. We're getting the iron mine almost hooked up. All the trees cut. Certainly a big part of the battle. We do need another. We do need another row here, right? Another row of gravel. I'll take out those two. And you can go too. Not sure why I didn't cut you down. So let's go ahead and. So we're going to want this, I think. Oops, shouldn't have stopped that one. Start it up again, right? Well, let's just give a little extra room. Probably they could be really close together, but I don't think it matters that much. We definitely spent some money on trees today, between this episode and the last episode. Guess there is no today in the game, really. All today. Which I don't know. They talk about a night cycle, and for YouTube, that's not usually very good, right? It just doesn't. It's romantic and all, but it becomes a pain in the butt when you're just trying to record a video that people then can't see, and you know. I think we missed. One of the things I think people could be doing that they're causing a problem here is to not actually be linking it. Like, in other words, you can put that rail that looks like it's almost attached, but it's not. And this is awful kind of sharp, I think. Not sure if I like what we just did there. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, I think it could be a little bit smoother. It still has to be what it has to be to some degree, but I think I want to bring it a little bit more. A little bit more like that. Yeah, I can't really cut that any tighter to start, but I can bring it back this way a little bit slower or less. I'm not sure what I mean, but like, in other words, I went like too far towards the center of the railroad track back there. Be more gradual, getting turned back the other way. So we can try to make this as reasonably short as we can and cheat it as much as is reasonable. Alright, so I can get us over this way and then be more gradual right here and be a little bit sharper right in this area, right? Let's see if that. It's not the smoothest work. See how that's kind of a big shift right here too. Yeah, that's a bit too much. We can maybe take that right out of it without too much pain. Yeah, that's quite a bit smoother. And we'll run. Yeah, that's pretty abrupt. We'll see how it goes with the first test runs. This isn't going to be a high-speed area ever, so it does need to be considered. We're going to make it. Not really. I think we might have to come back to finish this up. Let's see if we can't. I mean, you've already seen me fight everything, but let's give it one more straight section. Which will actually kind of match up with this guy better, right? Let's go get rid of that guy before he gets too confusing. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And I didn't even wastefully cut down too many trees. Good. Now let's go cut down trees. Now this is going to be a turn that we're eventually going to want to cut down like everything in the area because we'll be able to see that signal as we're coming around. But I'll do some of that off camera. I think people have seen enough tree chopping to last them a lifetime. Alright, let's see where we'll put a... Oh, where am I going? I'm missing the track deliberately. Go back one more. Way we can start it nice and straight, not worry about having to cut back in too fast. Very nice. And I don't know how many times we'll have multiple trains running around, but it seems like it's worth it to be able to leave cars in some of these places. Like the coal thing holding 1,000 coal, they don't want you to have to take that coal trip twice, you know? Because that's one thing I thought about that's going to be a bit of an issue for me. Like, I don't remember exactly how much stuff is up in that coal mine. And it's not the end of the world. But I'll say this, like, if you go up there, it only holds 20 beams. So if you forgot that you already had beams up there, what are you going to do? You just leave that car there, I guess, and then come back and get it some other time? Or, you know, like so you have to probably do a pretty good job of remembering where all this stuff is. That felt horrible. If that works out well, I'll be surprised. That tree. You have that look in your eyes that you need to go. New trees can go too. I said I want to be able to see around that corner. It's actually not too bad. The machine fixed up. I mean, it's sometimes just about being consistent. I don't know if that's, you know, it's a pretty sharp turn for a train, but I think we'll be all right. Got some bushes growing up out of the thing. Got some work to do to smooth it out, but, and then I guess we have to finish off the front, but I won't do the front. You know, we'll do that on the next episode or something. Well, let's go take a look at it. We go over a little bit. that side. This side's all done. I forget whether we attached it or not, but we're pretty close, aren't we? I think it's just the other side has to go. Yeah, this we might move this down if this causes a problem, but that shouldn't be too hard. We have to move this switch a little further. And I think we're going to be in good shape on this one. Yeah, let's finish this up so we can... Nothing else, I can go to someplace else, right? Save us some minutes of travel in the beginning of the next episode. Right, if we finish this up, then I can go along and I don't know, we'll start. I'll go up and gather a load of coal or something, and we can start the coal trip down. Because I think we're, I mean, other than testing the track, of course, which really is, compared to our last track, not that exciting. Right, I mean, it's a pretty straight track. It's not like we're up in the mountains building bridges and all that kind of craziness. All right, so we would come in and drop off. Let's set up our signals even. Real quick, and you guys can see what we did. Pretty simple in a certain way, but gives us some options besides just the plain old loop. And I can see this one's leaning the right way. Yeah, so we'll come in and we'll either drop off some iron, or some coal. Maybe a little bit of both. Because we do have, you know, I forget how much coal we have up there. I got to write this stuff down. But this is the right way. And then we'll just make sure this one's set up to, well, it doesn't really matter as long as they're both the same direction over here. And then we'll have to talk about getting, yeah, well, we'll have to see. We're probably going to want a watering station here. Oops, I didn't set this one. All right, so this one's set to bypass, which is, you know what, let's leave it not to bypass, because until we get a train in there, then I'd rather they both be not to bypass, because that way when we come back to pick up goods, we may never leave another train sitting here. So I'd rather be able to run through here and also check to make sure we don't bump into